Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Warframe, Going Umbral. So today, carrying on with our little series going on, we are looking at the Speed Demon, the Master of Lightning. We are looking at Volt. Now, honestly, this was probably my simplest build so far. I knew exactly what I wanted to do with Volt. I wanted to be able to use his speed, his shield, and use all of his powers in such a way that it didn't take away from any one power. But, so looking at abilities, our shock, we have 100 power strength on this build. I found if you went any lower than that, your powers took a really big hit. Like speed, you were barely going any faster than normal speed. Discharge, although it did still kill stuff, the damage was lacking. And the shield, I don't know. Anyway, at Volt's powers, his passive actually works very well with his second ability. Grounded movement generates an electrical charge that is unleashed with the next attack. Basically, the more you move around with Volt, you accumulate up to 1,000 damage extra, which in any attack, whether it be melee, gun, or power, will be used up. So moving with Volt is key. First power, Shock. Unleashes a shock projectile. It stuns and deals high damage to a single target and chains damage to nearby enemies. This is a good crowd control ability for a little group. If you have about 3 or 4 enemies that are going to hit you, you can use shock. That lightning is going to chain to every one of them and stun them. Speed, as I mentioned before, goes very well with Volt's passive. Gain a brief boost to movement speed, which affects all allies in range. Not only do you get a movement speed, but you also get a reload speed bonus. I wanted to be able to use this because you rely very heavily with moving with Volt. Basically, the more you move, the more damage you're going to accumulate. There's just no bad side to it. Electrical shield. Volt deploys an obstacle of energy, providing cover in any situation. Now, there is actually a hidden point to this shield that they don't know, that they don't mention. Basically, this shield will boost the critical multiplier of weapons, which works very well with the weapon of choice that we've gone for Volt. Discharge. Paralyze nearby hostiles with a damaging electrical charge. This shocks approaching enemies. This is your 4 to win. When you have a decent amount gathered up by speed, you can pop a discharge. And with the range of this build, you are going to shock everything in a wide area. As you see, the damage is 1,200. Now, the shock duration for the ability is 7.8 seconds. So essentially, you do the 1200 damage, and for 7 seconds, that lightning is chaining between loads of enemies, dealing even more damage. But enough about explanations, is the build. We have Energy Siphon for regenerating power, always handy. If you don't build for efficiency and power regen, Volt can become a bit power hungry. And because we don't have flow, it's really cutting the max power he has. So being able to get more power is better. Hunter's Adrenaline, always good. You know, you take damage to health. Much like Banshee, not only does this help with survivability by taking 45% of the damage away, but we're getting energy back, which means we can use our discharge, our shock, speed to run away, aka tactical displace. We have stretch for ability range. What's an umbral build without umbral vitality and umbral intensify? We have continuity for power duration. We have power drift. Not only does this help us stay at 100% power strength, but we also have a 30% chance to resist knockdown, which for higher level content is quite handy. Excuse me. Overextended for the 90% range. Just helps our powers stretch further. Streamline for ability efficiency, always nice. And the augment of choice is competitance. Competitance? We'll go with that. So essentially you can use any augment for Volt. For the longest time I considered doing a speed Volt with his augment, which for those who don't know, his augment for speed basically means anyone who walks in the path of where you were as you're running takes a guaranteed electrical proc. I tried to weigh that up, but I didn't think it was going to be that useful. Competitance, basically, as it says there, 3% of the damage dealt by competitance is split between Volt and his allies as extra shields. Now this augment can give you overshields, which again is very helpful for high level gameplay, because obviously it's going to take longer for them to get through your shields, meaning more survivability. So the weapon of choice for Volt this time round, we have the Synoid Gamma Core. I was almost finished with this build until I realised a very major issue with Volt. He was very power hungry when you had tons of overshields, because obviously we're not getting hit, so Hunter's Adrenaline can't regen our health, our energy. So I ran into an issue, and I was considering how to combat that. I paired him up with my Super Vandal, which for those who don't know, I actually have a Cephalon Pseudo augment on it, which allows it the entropy effect. And upon pairing it with that, and doing a bit of research into Volt, obviously I've found out that his shield gave more critical multiplier to weapons, but I realised I needed that entropy effect. So I was looking through the weapons that I could use, and oddly enough, when I was checking where to get the augments from, I came across this in Cephalon Pseudo. And I looked at the critical multiplier, it was a 2. So I thought, you know what? This could work very, very well. And you know what, guys?
Excellent armaments.
It really, really does.
Please return.
So, it's a 2-former build. On this we have Hornet Strike, Target Cracker for critical damage, Lethal Torrent for fire rate and multi-shot, Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot, Auger Pact for the base damage, Pistol Gambit for critical chance, Jolt and Pistol Pestilence for corrosive. So now we can deal with Corpus and Grineer and some of the infested as well. But that is enough explanation. As per usual, we are going into Sanctuary Onslaught with our boy here. Honestly, I'm quite happy with how Volt is performing with this build. Like, unlike Banshee. Well, actually, no, scratch that. With this build, it feels not so much the damage of Atlas, but I have the control of Banshee with some of the damage of Atlas. And honestly, it feels good, man. So, let's get some overshields going. As you guys can see, competitors, very effective. As you can see, the Cynorgamma core works very well with Volt, reaching the enemies. Well, basically just for getting energy back. Because of the amount of range, we are going to be able to hit everything on the map. But the Cynorgamma core is basically there for armor targets, to help us with the stripping of the armor, so our abilities can hit harder. It's a parasite Xmas around here. Something's draining my energy. Get out of here. But yeah, it's simply... I'm quite happy with the build. I can use my powers to a degree. And no one power is underpowered. So basically, when I was running negative power strength on Volt, I ran into a lot of issues. Basically, that speed practically did nothing. And Discharge and Shock weren't as effective as I would have liked. Stop sending me up in the air. But as soon as I was able to maintain that 100 power strength, it worked very well. Right, someone hit me, give me some energy. Come on, hit me. Do it. Do it now! Thank you.
Enter the conduit now.
Honestly, I'm glad I got Volt done. Originally, I weren't going to do Limbo or Volt. I was actually going to do... Who was it? I think it was going to be Ash. But I'm glad I got this done. I don't know, something just made me want to do Volt. Plus, me and Volt have history, you know? For those who don't know, I can't remember what update it was, but you could actually choose Volt as one of your beginning frames. And when I played on Xbox, he was actually my beginning Warframe, when I first ever played. So this is kind of like a nice homage to Volt. Ooh. No, Snugglepuss. Basically, the Warframe that started it all finally has his Umbral build. So. Get out of here. You disgust me. Also, one thing I've got to mention, you will need to put Xeneric on here. You don't necessarily need it, but I find it does help with the energy costs of Volt. But yeah, much like Banshee, Volt can now lock down an entire area, even if it is for a little period. But not only is competitance helping with your survivability. It also affects to your teammates, which is always helpful. I mean, let's face it, we've all been in that scenario where there's been a vault with max power strength and it just uses speed on itself without helping you.
Do not weep for these creatures. They are immortal. They can and have faced a billion deaths. You, however, do not enjoy the protections of synthesis. For you, failure has real life consequences.
Ooh, that was close. Right, get out of here. Get out of here, parasite. You too, healer. Now I'm aware that you can use other crit weapons with Vault. However, as I said before, I quite like the entropy effect of the Sinal Gamma Core. I think it synergizes very well with his shield. Get out of here. Wow. But yeah, that can happen. Those little flying things that emit the poison mists, your worst enemy. Get out of here. Now there is a few ways you can regenerate health. You can use, I think it's the Fasarian School Tree, or you can have a weapon with Healing Strike or Healing Return on it. Basically, then, how dare you, sir? Basically, I didn't think about running a Healing Return weapon on Vault. I was so busy trying to make it more energy efficient. I forgot about a method of healing. Anyway, this is the last zone anyway. There's not really much else to say. It's not the most damaging build, but my god, it is the most effective for locking down areas. And I think that's what I'm trying to achieve with my Umbral builds. Utility, but at the same time, their own degree of power. Get out of here. Give me some shield back. As you can see, Vault is actually doing quite well in Sanctuary Onslaught. We're at 97%. And that is actually beating Banshee as well. Go away, go away, go away. Would you do it? My god, you did it. However, much like Banshee, Vault is extremely squishy. To the point which you've seen here twice. If you're not careful, you are going to die. It's not really any worth putting steel fibre on, well, because you're only getting an extra 100 armor. Get out of here. Oh, that was close. Ah, you stupid healer. Get out of here. Run, Volt! Run! Something's really draining my energy. Where's the Xmas? Oh.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone.
There we go. Get out of here, but you're draining my energy. You as well.
Hunter, you are running out of time.
But needless to say, as you can see, this build is very effective. However, you must stay alert. Much like with Banshee, if you don't stay alert and something sneaks up behind you, you are going to die.
Go on without you.
So what did we get? We got an A. It's not bad. 726 kills, 45 Xmas kills. It's not bad, you know? And honestly, I'm quite happy with how Volt's performing. I wish I had thought about putting a helium return weapon on him beforehand, but, you know, c'est la vie. So, nothing really much else to say. Being able to lock down an area, being able to boost your allies, make you and your team more survivability. It's just, I'm so happy with how this build turned out. Honestly, there's nothing much else to say. So, I guess I'll see you guys later. I'll see you next time for more Going Umbral. I think the next Warframe we do will probably either be Ivara or Ash. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might probably just be Ash. But anywho, see you guys later. Stay tuned for more Going Umbral. Bye bye.